It is the 27th of March, 1999. The skies over Serbia are dark, stormy, and restless. Far below, the countryside lies in uneasy silence, but high above, slicing through the turbulent clouds, a shadow moves, silent, angular, and almost invisible. At the controls of that shadow sits Lieutenant Colonel Darrell Zelko of the United States Air Force. His mission: to strike the command center of the Serbian Air Force in Belgrade, the heart of their defense network. His aircraft, the F-117 Nighthawk, is unlike any other in the world. Built to be unseen, it moves through the night as if cloaked by darkness itself. Its jagged edges scatter radar waves, making the 65-foot bomber appear on enemy screens no larger than a tennis ball. For years it has flown unchallenged, untouchable, untrackable, unstoppable. Until this night. As Zelko approaches the border, the weather worsens. Thunder cracks across the clouds. His escort, a formation of F-16 Vipers armed with radar-seeking missiles, is ordered to turn back. He is alone now, flying blind into hostile territory, his survival dependent entirely on stealth. But on the ground, someone is watching. In a small mobile command post outside Belgrade, Lieutenant Colonel Zoltán Dani and his men of the 3rd Missile Battalion prepare their radar arrays. Their job? Hunt the invisible aircraft that have terrorized their skies for weeks. Tonight, they've received word from spotters. The Americans are coming. And Dani believes this is his chance. A radar screen flickers to life, its green glow casting shadows on tense faces. The P-18 early warning radar begins to sweep the sky. It's old Soviet technology, crude and prone to interference, but it works on low frequencies, the kind that might, just might, detect a stealth plane. The screen fills with static. Rain and storm clouds paint ghosts across the radar. But amid the noise, there is movement, a faint, steady trace slipping through the confusion. A ghost is coming their way. The approach. Zelko's Nighthawk roars through the upper atmosphere, invisible and confident. Inside the cockpit, the digital displays mark his progress toward the target. His weapons are armed and ready. Below, Dani's crew switches on the targeting radar, a dangerous act that gives away their position to any American sensors. They have only seconds before they must shut it off again. For long moments, nothing appears. Then, fate intervenes. As Zelko nears his bombing point, he opens the bomb bay. The stealth profile of the Nighthawk changes instantly. The radar signature blooms, a shadow suddenly gaining shape. In that fleeting window, Dani's radar locks on. The coordinates are confirmed. Orders are given. 2 SA-3 surface-to-air missiles leap from their launchers, tearing upward into the storm. Zelko releases his payload. Bombs streak down toward the target in Belgrade, guided by laser precision. Explosions ripple across the city below. Mission complete. But above him, death is rising fast. The strike. The cockpit erupts with alarms. Red lights flash across the displays. The computer screams a warning. Missile lock detected. In the split second between life and death, training takes over. The Nighthawk banks sharply, pulling hard to evade the incoming threat. It has no radar warning receiver, no flares, no chaff. Only the pilot's instincts can save it. One missile streaks past, a miracle miss that explodes harmlessly ahead. The second, however, finds its mark. The detonation tears through the left wing, sending shards of metal through the airframe. Fire engulfs the side of the aircraft. The cockpit lights up in orange and red as the plane spirals violently out of control. Zelko fights to keep it level, but gravity wins. G-forces crush him into the seat as the world spins around. He knows what must come next. Through smoke and panic, he grips the ejection handles. The canopy blasts away, and a burst of explosive charge propels him into the night. For an eternity that lasts a second and a half, he tumbles through darkness. The roar of the burning aircraft fades into the distance. Then, with a jolt, the parachute opens. Silence. The descent. The storm still rumbles above as Zelko drifts down through the clouds. Below him, the countryside of Serbia spreads out in shadow and flame. Somewhere out there, searchlights are already moving. He's alive, but deep behind enemy lines. And his parachute is bright orange. On the ground, the wreckage of the once invincible Nighthawk burns. The myth of invisibility has been shattered. Zelko lands hard in a muddy field. He rolls, unclips the harness, and runs. His survival training kicks in. He smears himself with mud, crawls into a ditch, and goes completely still. All around, the search begins.
The hunt. The explosion has drawn attention. Serbian troops, police, and local civilians spread out across the countryside. Flashlights sweep across the fields. Dogs bark in the distance. Zelko lies motionless, heart hammering, every muscle screaming to move. But he doesn't. Any sound could be the last. A rustle nearby. Footsteps. Then panting. The low growl of a dog. It comes closer, sniffing, moving toward the ditch. Zelko grips the knife on his vest. His mind races. Fight or stay still? Seconds drag like hours. Then, by some miracle, the dog turns away. Its handler calls from the distance, and the danger passes. Zelko exhales slowly. He's still unseen. For now. The waiting hours pass. The night deepens. The wind carries voices in a language he can't understand. Headlights flash across nearby roads as trucks arrive. The entire region is alive with the hunt for the American pilot. Zelko knows rescue will come, if he can stay hidden long enough. He turns on his survival radio, transmitting a brief message into the void. A mayday call, his last known position. Somewhere far above, an American command post picks up the signal. Search and rescue aircraft are scrambled. He waits. The rescue. Just before dawn, the faint whine of helicopter rotors breaks the stillness. Somewhere in the darkness, an aircraft circles, searching. Zelko stays low. The radio crackles faintly. His call has been heard. He tries to activate his infrared strobe to guide the rescuers in, but the light fails. He curses silently and looks around for alternatives. The enemy is closing in. Flashlights are now less than 100 meters away. There's no time left. He pulls a flare from his kit. Bright light floods the night as it ignites, a blazing beacon for friend and foe alike. The helicopter moves in fast. Searchlights sweep the ground, finding the glow of the flare. The field erupts in wind and debris as the aircraft descends. Zelko runs. Hands reach out from the open door. He's pulled aboard just as the rotors lift the chopper back into the sky. Below, enemy troops converge on the landing site, seconds too late. The invisible pilot is gone. Aftermath. At dawn, Serbian soldiers stand over the wreck of the world's most advanced aircraft. Twisted metal lies scattered across the muddy field, the black skin of the Nighthawk stripped and torn. Zoltán Dani's crew celebrates quietly. Against all odds, they have achieved what no one thought possible. They have brought down a stealth aircraft. For the first time, the invisible has been seen. Across the world, news spreads like wildfire. The myth of the untouchable stealth bomber is broken. For the United States, it is a sobering moment. For Serbia, a brief and shining triumph. The wreckage is gathered, studied, and displayed in Belgrade's Museum of Aviation, a testament to the night when radar found a ghost. The men behind the machines. Zoltán Dani, the commander who made the impossible shot, remains proud of his crew's discipline. He would later describe that moment, the instant the missile hit, as feeling like scoring the winning goal in a world-class football match. For him, it was not hatred that drove his actions, but the pursuit of mastery, the challenge of outthinking a more powerful enemy. Darrell Zelko, meanwhile, survived the crash and returned to the United States a hero. In the years that followed, he often reflected on that night, on the silence after the ejection, on the chase, on the dog that walked away. He spoke not of revenge, but of respect. Respect for a skilled opponent who had done his duty as he had done his. In 2011, the two men finally met face to face. The American pilot and the Serbian commander. Once enemies, now older, wiser, and at peace. They shook hands. No bitterness, no animosity. Just shared understanding of what war demands and what it costs. Legacy. The shootdown of the F-117A marked a turning point in modern warfare. It proved that no technology, no matter how advanced, is beyond defeat. That even the most invisible aircraft could be brought down by human intuition, experience, and determination. The event forced military strategists around the world to rethink what stealth really meant. Not invincibility, but advantage. A tool, not a guarantee. For pilots like Zelko, it was a reminder that courage still mattered. For soldiers like Dani, proof that skill and patience could defy the odds. In the end, both men emerged from that night with something greater than victory. Respect.
Epilogue.
Today, fragments of that downed F-117 still sit on display in Belgrade, its black panels scorched and bent. Visitors walk past the relic, reading the plaques, staring at the remains of a legend. Some see it as a triumph of ingenuity over arrogance. Others, as a symbol of the thin line between technology and fate. But to those who know the story, to those who remember that stormy night in March 1999, it stands as something else entirely. A reminder that even in the age of stealth, courage and chance still rule the skies. Because on that night, when a single radar operator saw what was never meant to be seen, the ghost of the sky became human once again. And the world learned that even the invisible can fall.